Phil here with videoschoolonline.com. Today I thought it would be fun to walk through my editing process for editing a documentary. I'm actually in the middle of editing a documentary about my buddy Anthony, and it's the perfect scenario for showing you how I edit a documentary. I'm going to show you where my project stands and sort of the iterations that it has gone through to get to this point. So I'm going to be editing in Adobe Premiere Pro, but basically you can do this sort of process with whatever video editor you're using. It's really the steps that are more important. And so we're going to walk through everything, but first I'm just going to lay out the initial steps to editing a documentary, then we'll dive into the project itself. So first, we import footage. After that, we organize our footage, rename them, put them in good folders so we know how to find everything. From there, we select our best footage, our best interview clips, and our best B-roll. After that, we combine our footage. So that includes our interview and B-roll footage. We put it all together. From there, we start cutting. So we make it shorter. We cut out what's not working. We show it to people and make sure it's looking good. And we just cut, and keep cutting until we like it. After we're happy with our cut, there's a few other things that we do. And the order doesn't necessarily have to be this way, but this is how I do it. I do color correction and grading. So I like to see what my footage will actually look like. And then after that, I will add music and graphics. Sometimes I add music while I am cutting so that I know what the vibe and the feel is. And then I will also level. So this includes leveling the music and the audio so it sounds amazing. After that, we make sure everything looks good and we export. Here we are in my project file for my Anthony Carbajal documentary. So the first thing you'll notice is that I'm pretty far along in this edit. On the timeline, you can see lots of clips, lots of different layers, and I'll walk through what these are as we get further on in this little tutorial. The first thing that we do though is import our footage, and you can see here that I like to keep everything very organized. I have my audio folder, my graphics folder, which I haven't really started doing much of yet, my music folder, photos, because I'm adding photos as B-roll. And then I have my different scenes. This is where all my video footage is. And underneath my scenes folder, I've organized my footage into different scenes of where my documentary took place. Now, if you are shooting a narrative, this might look a little bit different. You might have these in different orders. But with documentaries, we basically took Anthony out and we shot different moments with him throughout his day. Some where he was out shooting photography in the downtown area, some where he was working on his wheelchair, some where he was waking up in the morning. And we have multiple cameras shooting in these days. And one thing that I have gotten away from is just editing the titles for all of my clips. What I've done instead is, with the next step, I create sequences for each of these scenes, and you can find those under my sequences folder. And from there, that's where I pull selects. But just one more note about my organization. So I have all my video here, and then I have my sequences folder. So these are all the Premiere Pro sequences that I've created and used. And then the sequence that I'm currently using and editing right now stays outside of the folders. So whenever I open up this project, I will create a new sequence. I will duplicate this one and rename it to the current day, so I can always look back at a previous sequence and change things or go back, revert to things if I want to. So after I import and organize, what I do is pull selects. And so I'll create a sequence for all of these things. So for example, here's the downtown sequence. So on my timeline, you can see that I've just basically gone through all of my footage and I have pulled out the best parts of the clips in here. Same with the interview. So with the interview, I have an interview synced sequence. So this is where I've just synced up the entire interview. It's over an hour long. And then from there, I just start cutting it down. So I have interview cut 1. So this is basically where I took out all of the questions where I asked and maybe any mistaken answers, but this pretty much has all of the answers that Anthony gave us. The interview cut 2 is where I start to pull out the best answers, and you can see this is about 25 minutes worth of answers from him. And I just keep going through and seeing how it goes. And then as you can see here with interview cut 4, I did start to add music. This is where I started to add B-roll. And so from there, I copied this sequence and made it a different version. So V1 and then the date. And from there, I will also create sequences that are colored or not colored, etc. If you look at my latest cut, you can see that I've already done a lot of the steps. So I've already added B-roll for a lot of this footage. So over what he's talking about, I will add footage from the day. So we got him waking up in the morning, his wife helping him get dressed and take a shower because he has ALS and is unable to do a lot of those things now. And so you can see I have different tracks here with the B-roll. So going from the bottom to the top, this first track is our interview camera B. Third track is interview camera A. In between them, I have adjustment layers, which are color correction for these layers, basically. So let me just go here to one of these shots. So you can see here, this is the B camera, so wide. We got pretty creative with this angle. If I turn off this adjustment layer, you'll see the raw, unedited, color corrected video. So that's without color correction. And then if we add it, you see the color correction. Now you can use adjustment layers to do color correction, or you can add the color correction right to the clips themselves. For the long interviews, I felt like it was easier just to use adjustment layers. For the B-roll, I have added the color correction to the individual clips so that I can adjust them individually as needed. So sometimes I use the top two layers, so layer 5 and 6, to just throw in some B-roll in case I need it. I'm starting to add photos, so you see some of those photos in track 6, and then a black video background in track 5. So basically the bottom tracks are video, the top tracks are the B-roll. So the bottom tracks are video of the interview, that is. Then down below we have our audio. So track 1 is actually the scratch audio that I'm not using straight from the camera. Track 2 was from the lavalier mic that we had plugged in to the camera, and it was better audio. Track 3 is also scratch audio from our B camera. And then track 4 is our music. And right now I just have temporary music. I'm going to be having a friend actually compose a soundtrack for this documentary, so it's going to be really nice. And aside from that, we just have to add graphics. I haven't done graphics yet, so that would go on another layer, and I'd probably use Adobe After Effects to add that. After that, I will make sure all the levels are great. I've already done a little bit of editing of the levels of the audio right within Premiere Pro. I could take this into another program and fine-tune it even more. I'll make sure that the color correction looks good, not only on my monitor, but different types of monitors. And then we will export it. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions about my process, please let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them. If you want more Video School Online, you can check out videoschoolonline.com. And if you want to learn how to edit in Adobe Premiere Pro, do graphics in Adobe After Effects, I have complete courses on both of those programs and lots more at the courses.videoschoolonline.com. Link is in the description below, and you can get a free month of access to all of my courses signing up today. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in another video.